you know, myself grew up with Yale Gracie on the wall. He was my Michael Jordan. I was that weird. And it was sort of something that was, you know, a dream for me and also a few of the other folks in the group. Over the years, a lot of Imagineers, I think probably starting in the late 90s, have been pitching different ways of bringing back the Hatbox Ghost. One of the biggest hurdles to the Hatbox Ghost illusion is the fact that you are really close to the effect. The effect has to happen over and over and over again. We like to say in our industry, you know, special effects and magic tricks on a stage in like Las Vegas, you get one effect you get to do a night, and then you get to reset it up for hours and then do it the next day. We have to do that basically 14 times a minute for 17 hours a day, every day of the year. So it's really, really challenging to do special effects and illusions that look really magical and are also really robust and long-lasting for Disney theme parks, and therein lies the challenge and also the opportunity. So myself and a sort of a grassroots team of other Imagineers at WDI had been cooking up a few things for a few years. We did this really, really crude, again, another grassroots effort for D23 a few years ago was an A100 figure that we stuck a head on and dressed with clothes that we found sitting around, and it was the Hatbox Ghost, sort of, kind of, but it was meant to be, hey, look, we're still excited about this. And it got, thanks to, you know, people like all of you guys and also people internally, got a lot of excitement going. But it was just a figure, it didn't do the illusion. At the same time, I had been playing with a few different techniques to try to kind of pitch this, because one of the best things I found at WDI and really with anything in life, I'm sure you guys would agree, that when you pitch something and have something physical mocked up, whether it's a maquette or a prototype, a working prototype, or something like that, even if it's glued together with hot glue and there's foam core and all that stuff, you get people excited about it versus talking with your hands and all that stuff. People can put it in their hand or look at it and touch it physically and can see it work. And kind of on my own time and with a few other folks at WDI, we built this working prototype out of really many trips to Home Depot, Michael's, and all of the best places Imagineers like to frequent. I'm not endorsing them, but they're great places. And we built a working prototype. And that was kind of, at least what I saw as one of the biggest hurdles, is every time this would come up, when people would pitch, let's bring the Hatbox Ghost back, because fans love him, we love him internally to WDI. There's nothing stopping it, except this little thing called the effect never worked in the first place. We have to do it right this time. So we pitched it and showed it, again, grassroots effort to different executives and had people walk around and see it. And it basically created its own project. And the project was then feathered into the 60th anniversary, and it became a real project. I mean, you know, completely surreal for me to become the head Illusioneer in charge of bringing him back, and then also kind of, in the long run, working with painters and the lighting and all the other guys, because everything has to be a symphony when you're doing an illusion like this. If one thing is off, the whole show will go to pieces, to quote, you know, the 10th anniversary Disneyland special.
Oh yeah.
That thing. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of created its own momentum, and we really got excited as a team. Really, I mean, it was a project of passion and love, and that's why I think people, when they see it, can really see that we, from the beginning, wanted to make this this figure and this illusion look analog and look true to the rest of the Haunted Mansion in the 1969, you know, show. it couldn't contrast in that attraction. So I think we did a pretty good job, and we're excited to possibly, I don't know, maybe one day we'll do more. There's a lot of people who say, no, he should live in Disneyland because he was only ever in Disneyland. And yes, that is true. But there's also an and to that story, because the way WED was making things back then, they made all of the figures and everything for the Haunted Mansion. At the same time, they made them for Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion, which opened a year later. And that being said, there were 2 Hatbox Ghosts. And Yale Gracie, as far as I understood himself, made the call to pull the original one out because it didn't live up to his original illusion that was mocked up in Glendale. And it was sitting in his office down at, I don't know if it was in Glendale or in Anaheim, but there were 2 Hatbox Ghost figures in there. And they eventually, got decommissioned, and are probably screws and nuts and bolts of them are in different parts of the Haunted Mansion today. But technically there was going to be a Hatbox Ghost in Florida, so that was the plan. So who knows what'll happen in the future.